Hi, everyone. Welcome to Food for Thought Friday. Here's what I'm thinking about this week. I'm currently knee deep in pitch decks, having talked to entrepreneurs on Zoom, continuing to listen to pitches for competitions and the like. And I'm loving every minute of it. It's incredible what's going on out there. I wanted to share with you an article that I recently read and posted, and it's a great piece on what is called your log line, LOGLINE. Taking a page from a screenwriter's playbook when they're pitching their movie concept to people with very extremely short attention spans. The log line is your hook sentence or two maximum that explains what you are doing in a nutshell. For instance, the log line for the Google founders was Google organizes the world's information and makes it universally accessible. Elegant, right? I highly recommend reading the article from Carmine Gallo from Harvard Business Review a few years ago, and the link is in the show notes below. The one thing that it's important to note in the article is the fact that the human brain craves meaning before details. So let's make sure we play to the cravings of our audience. To help your audience with this, since you are likely presenting something novel, if there is an analogous example of a success that your audience will readily understand, then use it early, if not in your first two sentences of your logline, to give them a reference point to hang on to and remind them of it a time or two in the next 5 minutes. Now, screenwriters are presenting a concept that is, for the most part, fictional. And we don't have that creative latitude. So how can we stay honest yet convey what makes us excited about the impact we'll have? Well, if we communicate an optimistic yet reasonable potential of what you're proposing and why your company can achieve it over others, letting them know you are aware of the others, but leaving the details for later. Just kind of give them a sense. You know the landscape well. Because what you want to do is forget those other people for now. Just give them the impression that you know who they are, and then focus on what differentiates your company in general terms. Remember that craving that we're going for. Additionally, how can you demonstrate that you'll approach it with a practicality that will still enable the boldest endeavors? That you won't be sheepish in going for the best in class that you possibly can. Well, to do that, convey that you are earnest about achieving the results and listening to the data. Bolster your believability with just enough of the right information. In my job as chief scientist for our first product in my first biotech company, investors would comment how believable I was, even when they were highly skeptical before hearing from me. They'd heard from the CEO or the CFO and thought, oh, please, that sounds outrageous. To be honest, we were achieving some pretty out there things, but in much of it ahead of its time, or so many thought. The truth was that it wasn't ahead of its time, as many early biotechs unfortunately turn out to be. What matters for trailblazing endeavors is that you are doing it at a time when there is enough information, although others may not have put it together yet. And that's a differentiator. That's what's going to make you special. So try to convey that. That's something that's unique to you. Now, AI will be an equalizer of sorts, and for those less capable of putting two and two together and getting five, they'll use it more extensively, but and we'll all use it. But remember that AI is only as good as its input, and the human mind is still superior at innovation, at least at this point. We're still needed. Excuse me. I think the secret of being believable and capable of achieving what you claim, even with details yet to be worked out, is to convey a solid foundation, i.e., the right time for your innovation with just enough information and a firm rationale behind what you are proposing, leaving them with the impression that there is a lot more behind what you're saying in those few minutes that you have. It's a method I used to practice in my scientific presentations, where we showed great results and explained just enough so that people were left with leaving with, wow, that group really knows what they're doing, and wondering, what the heck more do they know? Now, wouldn't you love to have your investors say, oh my God, we got to talk to these people more? What the heck do they know? Touch on the big questions they might be thinking regarding the why and the how, and leave the detail for due diligence or them craving then the detail once their needs are satisfied with the meaning, because that's the goal of the first presentation. Lastly, never treat your team's value as obvious. And I see this time and time again. Don't just list them with their university and company pedigrees and let the audience judge the talent aspect of the team. Believe me, they're going to underestimate it. Tell them what their talent is within the team, what makes your combination special. Because everybody's going to have a team with experience of some persuasion. But what is the secret sauce of your team? How you've put these people together? What's different about you? Let them read what they want about going to Duke or working at Merck or Pfizer or what have you later. Let them do that as part of due diligence. So I hope these few tips and my little additions have helped you a bit in thinking about how you present, even if you're not doing an active pitch deck for fundraising, although really in reality, we're always, pitching, right? But see how you can look at your pitch in a little bit different light and really hone it down, simplify it, fulfill that craving, show your earnestness, show your credibility and honesty, show your practicality, but your boldness at the same time. And you're going to be well positioned to make an impact. So until next time, stay focused, stay diligent, stay passionate. Cheers.